Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your forecast for Venus retrograde March 2017. Now, this works if you have your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Capricorn. Now, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is what is Venus retrograde, what is it all about, what does it do to the planet and to us and to the universe, and how specifically it can affect you, Capricorn. What part of your life is it really trying to emphasize and it's trying to bring into harmony? And then at the end of the reading, I'm going to be pulling out a daily guidance oracle card from the Angels deck of Doreen Virtue to try to see what your angels have to say to you, what guidance they can bring for this moment in your life. Okay, Capricorn? So let's get to it. Alrighty, Capricorn. Okay, so what is Venus retrograde? Venus retrograde happens every 19 months, and it's when the planet Venus seems to be moving backwards from the Earth. So we call that a retrograding period, and it happens every 19 months. So Venus, what happens is that anything that Venus rules, this is what gets overlooked, this is what gets reviewed, and this is what gets affected in our lives during this time. And Venus rules anything that has to do with beauty, that has to do with relationships, that has to do with diplomacy, with justice, that has to do with values, money, luxuries, pleasures. So she practically rules most of the things that humans adore and love. She brings all those goodness to her. So Venus is a very important planet in our lives. It's a very personal planet because it's the one that helps us have brotherhood, the one that helps us have compassion, the one that helps us have relationships, the one that brings us those good feelings of love and pleasure. And really what we work for all our lives is to bring value into our lives. You know, if we are working to buy things, it's just to bring more value into our life, into our lifestyle. So Venus is a very important planet, especially to this Western culture. And during this time, you are going to be seeing some changes. There could be some fluctuations. There could be some delays. There could be some looking over things when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to money. You know, your finances. How is it that you're handling them? When it comes to your values, are you really aligned with the values that you want? You know, because that's what makes us feel happy inside. What makes us feel content with ourselves is that of the values that we have inside of us are actually being projected into the world the way we want them to be. So it's a very important planet. And for you, it's going to be bringing a lot of emphasis in your domestic life, in your home life, in your domestic life, in your family life, in your private sector, in your properties, in your house. So Venus retrograde, this is, okay, first of all, Capricorn, sorry. First of all, Capricorn, this is not the time to be doing any interior design or like changing the look of your house. It's more of a time to reevaluate. Like, okay, I want it to look like this, maybe, going through the pre-production of things. And then get to it after the 16th of April. I definitely suggest that because Venus rules beauty and aesthetics. So she's not awake right now. So if you were to do something that has to do with beauty or changing the looks of things, they can come out not how you planned them to come out. And then you're going to have to redo it again. So definitely a time to not get involved with any real estate situation either. Or if you already are, then expect delays, okay? Expect some delays to happen. If you're trying to rent out a property, sell a property, buy a property, this is the time where you might just see some delays. So don't freak out, Capricorn. There's going to be a way out, okay? After April 16th, Venus is going to still stay in your home sector. So April and May, I see blessings, and I see that's when things are going to start moving forward with any situation that has to do with real estate or that has to do with the home life. Also, during this time, there could be some sort of, your mother relationship and your family relationship could be calling out to you right now. Also, I suggest to go back into 2009 Capricorn and think about the things that you were going through during that time. What were you going through during 2009 that was practically Venus? This was the last time that Venus was in Aries retrograding. So that was the last time that she kind of planted a seed of intention in you. And now in 2017, she's coming back and saying, okay, what happened with that? Are we still in the same track? Are we still having the same values? Because I left those for you. So, excuse me. So during this time, it's really important that you figure out, really at the end of the day, the fourth house, the house of the home, is the house of our roots, okay? Where we feel at home, where we feel rooted, where we feel like this is where I belong. This is where I know that I can always come back to this place. I know that my family will always have their open arms to me anytime, that I can come to them and count on them, that they're here for me, my clan, my family. So it's actually the part especially in old astrology, in Vedic astrology, it actually represents your true happiness. This fourth house, the house of the home, is actually where you find that internal happiness that is exhilarating and that makes you feel at peace with everything. It makes you feel rooted. It makes you feel grounded. It makes you feel like I know where I belong. So during this time, Venus is saying, okay, are we still following that? Are you following your heart's desire, Capricorn? Are you truly, truly being honest with your heart's desire? Are you listening to your heart? That we derive off this situation where we're actually looking for our place in the world, where we belong, where we can set roots, where we can set our foundations in life. And from here, we can start moving up. You know, being homeless, having a homelessness could seem, it can really just be detrimental to you. This energy of feeling like you have nowhere where you belong, that there's no place for you, that there's no space where you can be, that, home life is so crucial. And it's your opposite sign, Cancer, that teaches you about these things, the axis of work and home life. You are the work, but at the same time, for you, Capricorn, to feel fully balanced with yourself, there has to be a home life. There has to be a healthy home life that makes you feel like your roots, like it's like a tree. The tree has the roots really set in, and then it can grow up into the sky. And when it grows up into the sky, that's where it grows, that's what it shows, that's where the fruits come out. But if he doesn't have those roots really strong, knowing that that's where he stands, that that's where he belongs, then then any wings, whoop, is gonna fall off. So very important time, especially since you've been having Uranus in your fourth house, Capri. You could be feeling like there's been so many changes, so many unexpected things in your domestic life. Capricorn, you could be also feeling like you're trying to rebel. For those young Capricorns, you could be feeling like I'm rebelling and becoming independent from my family. I'm now saying, this is who I am, family. You're understanding your place of authenticity in your family, in your domestic life. And this sometimes can bring, clashes, because your parents, we could have parents that are like, no, you have to be like me. No, you can't change. No, you have to follow what I say. But at the end of the day, you are looking for your authentic place, your authentic home, where you can feel at home being yourself. That's what Uranus is all about too. Uranus is the planet of freedom, truly. And because of that, they say it's the planet of rebellion. But in reality, if Uranus just wants to be himself, that's really why Uranus is there. It's like, the power to be different, the power to be authentic. And when you are able to be this, then you feel absolutely free. That's when true freedom comes from. That's where the true energy of freedom comes from. From feeling that nobody's trying to change you. And nobody's saying, hey, be like this or be like that, or why don't you change these things, or why don't you change that. No, nobody's doing that to you. That's when you feel like, ugh, like you're constricting me, you're changing me, you're making me something that I'm not, and this doesn't feel good. So you are been going through these situations domestically with your parents, with your family, with your own family, and Venus here, it's making you think about it. How is your family situation? How is your domestic life? You know, is there any issues you need to talk about? This is a very emotional house at the end of the day. It really is. It's the house of Cancer. So it's a very emotional, sensitive house, but at the same time it's the nurturing house. Okay? So it's also going to be asking Capricorn, how have you been nurturing yourself? Have you been nurturing yourself? Um, you know, have you, because Capricorns, we're very ambitious, and this ambition is very strong for us to reach some high tops, for being some really something amazing in our lives. However, the one thing, and that's why Cancer, the opposite of you, it's so important, because this is where you find your balance. Cancer is about patience, it's about nurturing, it's about being that mother that understands in what level of situation you are in your life, and it's not asking for more. So it's also, Venus is also going to be asking, Cappy, have you been nurturing yourself fully? Or have you been, whipping yourself into discipline? Sometimes, and it's easy. It's easy for Capricorns to just be like, oh, okay, I need to be punished. But sometimes that's not the answer. That actually can bring him even more down, and the depression gets even worse, and then it's even harder to get out. And the way to get out of that is by being nurturing. It's like when you're planting a plant, when you're making, gardening something, and you have this plant and it's growing, and you're screaming at it saying, why are you not growing faster? You should be growing faster. Why don't you grow? It's not going to do nothing. And on the contrary, the plant might even start dying. So it's also asking, Venus is also asking, how are you nurturing yourself, Capricorn? Are you really nurturing yourself the way you should be nurturing? Are you putting attention in the things that give you life, or are you putting attention in the things that don't give you life? Are you being too harsh on yourself and others? This is a time for softness. This is a time for gentleness, and Venus is there to teach you those things. And also, Mercury is also here. So Mercury is helping you analyze the situation, think about it, really understand what's going on, and talk about it. This is fantastic. If you've been having to say something to your parents, to your family, to your mother, to your loved ones, this is the time to just say it and speak it. And at the same time, Venus is going to bring justice. Venus is the planet of justice. So if you've been feeling unfairly treated at your home place, then you're going to be seeing justice come in. And whatever you've been sweeping under the rug with your family, be prepared that it's going to come out to the surface this Venus retrograde. And, nurture it. Give it love. And you're going to see that what you really wanted to come out of it is going to start coming out. Yeah, especially, Venus, Capricorn, this is an intense time too, because you have Saturn in your 12th house. That's a toughie. It's a tough place. Saturn is saying, let go of the old. Are you getting yourself ready for your reinvention next year? Because your whole life is going to change once we start next year. So better get rid of the crap, but don't bring that into your future. Next 30 years of your life, do you really want to be carrying that baggage on you? Emotional baggage, especially. This is a time for emotional detoxification. Now, the good thing, Capricorn, is that even though you're going through this upheavals, internal upheavals, and all these emotional things, and all these things that maybe are a little bit out of your comfort zone, the really good news is that Jupiter's in your 10th house. So your career is doing great. Your career is doing good. That could go, I wouldn't say autopilot, but that's coming easy. So just put a little bit of intention, and you love working. Also, Mars is in your 5th house of romance and relationships. So there's definitely a drive to try to understand your romantic life, understand your creative energies. You're being assertive with your creative energies. For any Capricorn out there that is working on any project that's artistic, with this Venus retrograde, it's a time to reevaluate it and then send it out and showcase it after the 16th will be the best thing. With romance, it's a time to really write down your needs in love, Capricorn, and see what is it that you really want in a romantic relationship, and be honest with yourself. And then with your kids too. Be with your kids. How is your relationship with your kids? This is also coming to the light. So let's see what oracle card you have for today for Capricorn. 2017 Venus retrograde. Ooh, I love this card. You got the card, Have Confidence. It says, moving forward does not necessarily require you to have confidence in yourself. Confidence in God is enough, along with knowing that God works through you and with you in all ways. Lean upon us if your confidence wavers, and we will buy your courage and faith. So imagine that. The angels are saying, have confidence, Capricorn. Have confidence in your choices. Have confidence in because you are having so many internal things coming to the light, so many emotional things that are coming from the surface, from that you buried in the past most probably, and they're resurrecting again. And now with Venus retrograding in your fourth house of the home and your roots and your real like your real place where you belong, you could be feeling some emotional distress that is not making you feel confident in your life. Remember what I was talking about, the nurturing that if you don't have that nurturing quality, and you're just screaming at yourself to grow and to be better, then it's not helping. So have confidence, and if you don't have confidence in the universe, that the things that you want, that the things that are changing around you, is because nature and God has a beautiful plan for you. It's holding your hand through the situation. Okay? Any situation that might be changing at the home place, at the domestic world, at your part where you feel super safe, where your true happiness lies. Have confidence to follow it, to go for it. Don't, don't compensate, and don't put yes, duty is important. Yes, responsibility is important, but the responsibility to your happiness and yourself should be the number one priority. That should be the number one priority, and have confidence to follow it, to go for it, to not, you know, to not doubt yourself. This is not a time for doubts, Capricorn. It's a time where you are having major changes, and these are your roots. Major changes in where you feel rooted in life. So yes, you could be feeling like you've just been plucked off the ground and you feel so unrooted, but this is definitely a good time here. I'm just gonna read some more things that this card could mean. Stay in the moment and focus on this one step at a time. Give all worries and concerns to God and the angels. Ask the angels to increase your faith. Trust that God's love and wisdom are working through you. Okay, so this is definitely a very strong card that has to do with trust as well. You see that, Capricorn? You're going through some major changes with the Saturn in the 12th house, in your house of letting go, in your house of self-undoing. And it could be scary, but don't focus on the scary part. Don't focus on that. Remember, trust that God has a better plan for you. Trust it. Don't let your duties and responsibilities step on the way of your actually fulfilling something in yourself. I was telling Aries an amazing quote that I read the other day that says, nature favors the bold who go towards the sun. And what that means is that if you take risks to follow the sun within you, to follow the true golden light that's inside of you, to be yourself, to really follow the things that you want to do, nature will favor you. Nature will be right next to you. Because at the end of the day, God just wants you to be yourself. God doesn't want you to fall into this whole facade of, oh, I have to go to work, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, and that's my life. No, not that fantasy of your thoughts. God wants you to be yourself fully. Be it. So have confidence in yourself. Trust life. Trust yourself. And know that if things are leaving you right now, that things are just slipping through your fingers and you're like, no, please, no, that there's going to be something better. That there's going to be something way better. Your cup is going to be filled up again. Okay? Actually, enjoy the void. Later on, you might want to feel it. All right, Capricorn. Thank you so much for letting me do your reading today. It was a great time. It was fantastic. I hope this was of help to you. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Please, I would love to hear some comments about your Venus retrograde experiences if you would like to share them with me. And also, if you want a private reading, this is just a general reading. So if you want a more detailed reading for you, you can always schedule a private session with me at the link below. Okay? Capricorn. So I'll be seeing you in the other videos. Have a lovely day.